Hello everyone, welcome back to Gnippets. My name is Garm, and originally I was gonna make this video with the same title under kind of a different context where I obviously somewhat recently got into a relationship and things were going really well, but people would constantly ask me how it's going, and I'd tell them that it's going well, and they'd be like, oh, that's like the honeymoon phase, or that won't last forever, right? And they'd ask me almost every day that I'd seen them if it's still going well, and I never really understood why. And in tandem in this, in combination with this, there was this voice in my head that was like constantly saying things to try and convince me to get out, right? I was constantly overthinking things. I was constantly trying to be better. I haven't been with a lot of women in my life. And I was thinking, and my brain would be telling me like, man, if this works out, this is going to be the last woman you'll ever be with for the rest of your life. And I have to sit there and I have to kind of talk to myself and be like, that's the dream, that's the point. The point is to have kind of a low body count and stuff like that. And I was constantly kind of trying to reassure myself, and she, is awesome. And she kind of just did that in her own way. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, with all this almost constant negative reinforcement, it was like, God forbid my life becomes a fairy tale, right? Like, God forbid, I find the one and everything becomes awesome. Because it just feels like like everyone, including myself, is constantly throwing shit at me is what it felt like. But she did in fact break up with me, and I feel a little used. I feel humiliated, but I'm trying to stay tender-hearted. I'm trying not to like get angry or let it like ruin my perception of women or people around me or her even. It was just unlucky timing. It was the first time I cried in a while, so I guess that was nice. But yeah, not feeling great.